Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. Now, coming into this session, we had inventory holding the prior week's high during all of Sunday, Monday, and this Tuesday pre-market, Monday overnight, Tuesday pre-market session. This thing was just extremely bid, both on the ES and the Nasdaq. Now we gapped up with some pretty mediocre breadth. We failed to open drive higher, tagged that second standard deviation of last week's VWAP, and it also lined up with a Globex point of control, and then just kind of made our way downwards into that gap close. Now, once we ran all those stops from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we did try and reclaim that prior week's high. Got a little bit of lift, but we failed at that open once again. And for the rest of the day, we just kind of spent it below that prior week's high and just grinding our way downwards on this kind of negative 50, negative 90,000 deltas. We end up holding Friday's value area low, reclaiming that last week's point of control around 4206s, that Q1 high around 4108, 4208, sorry, and then had a nice linear ramp back to that 4221, that prior week's high, and just unwound the deltas a little bit, and up closing right around Friday's close. So, so far we have had this right here. Where the hell am I looking at? I wanted to see if we can hold that 4188 to '08 and hold bid over 4275. So coming in tomorrow, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Can we once again hold this pivot area, and then can we start making our way up above 25s and getting into that 4275? If not, we're going back into the the balance of death, the 4115 to 42 or 41 75ish kind of balance. This old guy. We're coming back into this likely. So that's what I'm looking for. News-wise, tomorrow we do have Jolts at 10 o'clock, FOMC's Harker at 12:30, and the Beige Book at 2 p.m. So things will probably slow down around 1 o'clock, if not even a bit earlier than that. So I think it'll be a bit of a choppy kind of day as we await all this sort of data to be happening. So trades-wise, how am I looking at this thing? Well, I want to be, as you can see, not too interested in the short side. I'm interested in trading this thing down to 53. So we have a VWAP close from, I think, Thursday's VWAP close at 53s. Below there, I want to be long 65 half. That is settlement lows. After tag is 63, so kind of that major balance level. You saw it there on that Thursday session when we ramped up. I think even before then, yeah, the 63 number has been kind of important. So I want to be long 65 settlement lows after a tag is 63s. Above there, I want to be long on this auction at 82 quarters. If 80 to 82 holds and I'm unable to get long, I will be glad to take 88s. And above there, I want to be long at 4,200 and 3 quarters, that being the 95% value area low. That is if we open over '08. So if we open above that Q1 high and after a run of this low of the day, or after we hold the 80s and come back up. So if we have if we open somewhere down here, hold this auction somewhere around here, if we hold this auction, get back above, I will gladly be bid here for that further move up to 42.25. Maybe I should add that in there before 42.20's tag. That's what I'll be looking for on the ES, and I want to just quickly make sure I have that in this chart as well, my main chart. Above there, I would be willing to take 20 quarter long after a tag of 13 to 18s. So essentially after a tag of, this sort of support area, that's where we built a point of control, a VWAP close, all that sort of stuff. So if we open above value area high, I'd be glad seeing us find a bid somewhere in here and then taking it long, that 23 quarters long. And if we open above 24, again, that value area high, after a run of these overnight highs, I'd be gladly taking 42.33 long, just that weekly open. Muting my screen, my other thingamajig. Now, moving on to the Nasdaq. Let's go over here. The Nasdaq, just ripping. No tag of even these balance highs here from that late April, mid to late April balance highs around 280-ish. We could not get in that today. What I was looking for was will we once again have a higher low and higher high? We have put in a higher weekly high, and the weekly low is way down over here. So, so far we're doing all right. This massive ripper from Friday has remained untouched, and we have not been even able to get into this auction over here. So, ideally, what I was looking for was a back test of 13,800, so way down here to about 14,000. So I still think we end up back testing this sometime, and then we can find the bid and move further up. So that's how I'm overall looking at the Nasdaq. Now, as to how this thing traded today, we had that huge gap up pretty much to last week's third standard deviation of VWAP. So just an incredible ripper, just maintaining that strength and holding prior week's high, just like ES on all Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays overnight session. The Monday overnight session. Eventually, we got a sell down to 14,000. Held bid, turned around. We traded inside, pretty much inside that opening range for the entire day. However, we were unable to get over the halfback of that opening range. Eventually, we closed the gap, got a bit of a front run there, front ran again, came through, front ran the weekly close, and then got our linear ramp back up to VWAP. And we had, notably, the CBD was defending the zero line pretty much all day. This thing was just even on these moves down. It wasn't really initiative selling. It was just these longs are just selling out back to zero. Nothing crazy. So in terms of how I'm looking to trade this, again you'll notice no short setups. If we get a hold of that 10 to 17 bid, so that same April, mid to late April 2022 balance, if that holds, I'll be taking 27s long. Now, if we hold anywhere between pretty much that same zone, so if we hold anywhere between here to the previous day's low, if we hold anywhere over there, and get a 1 minute close above 386, which is value area low. If we get so essentially a move down, hold somewhere in here, move back up, I'd be willing to bid 368, so that prior week high. I think it's just a very important number coming into the week. And if we open above value area low and we hold this daily range, this previous day's range, and get a move upwards to about 480-ish, I'd be willing to take 433s long. That's what I'd be looking for. So perhaps I should add in there after a tag of 466.75. There we go. Moving on to our final ticker, everyone's favorite, the Dow Jones. The Dow, unlike the other two today, the Dow was weaker, unsurprisingly. The Dow, what I was watching coming into the week was, can we hold that May 4th low, or are we just going to lose momentum? So that's what I was looking at, break and hold of 33,000, below 33,000. That's my gauge of momentum to the downside. You can see we kind of broke that yellow trend line, a little bit hard to see, but we broke that, and now we're holding down below it. So what I want to see going into tomorrow is, and let's just recap that Sunday. We made the high during Sunday, so unlike the ES and Nasdaq, which eventually held to the prior week's highs and kept moving up higher, this thing just trended down ever since that Sunday open. Trend down, trend down, trend down. It was holding Friday's value area high to the prior day's high. It was doing an okay job, but it did not manage to do anything at the open. It corrected inventory in the pre-market downwards into the prior week's close. Was unable to even get into value area high. Sold off into that 33,004, that May 4 low, which held bid repeatedly. Was unable to get above the last week's close. Was unable to get above last week's close, and eventually flushed down to around the yearly point of control, last year's point of control, and then it churned around that same May 4th low and eventually unwound some of that deltas into the close, closing above the point of control and above the VWAP close. So coming into tomorrow, what do I want to see? If we are able to hold the previous day's low, so if we're able to hold pretty much what I'm looking at is this spike base, whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it spike base, down to the low of the day. If we're able to hold that 922 to 976 range, I want to be long 33,004. To me, that means it was a false breakdown below that May 4th low, and I'm willing to go long for that move back up into whatever the prior week's close, or I don't know, whatever number that is. Just looking that up on another chart. Yeah, the open. Yeah, the open, prior week's lows. Yeah, prior week's lows, somewhere around there. That's what I'd be looking for on a long side. Below there, not really too interested to get long. I will look for continuation downwards into kind of this 860-ish area, if not down to settlement lows. So what I'll be looking for is if we gap down, getting short at today's low of the day. If we gap down or after a tag of 826s, I'll be willing to get short at 943s to the upside. If we get a run of this daily high, I'll be taking 161s short. That seems like a really great level during the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday sessions. And above there, nothing's really changed. Getting short 286s, 357s, 394s, etc., and 464s. Hope that makes sense. 10 and a half minutes. Damn, couldn't make it under 10. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. And trade safe, you guys.